Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 24 and another part of our career mode. Today we are taking on the Singapore Grand Prix, but first we have our secret meeting with Ferrari to get through and hopefully start to get towards signing a contract and making sure that we are in that seat next season. If you are enjoying the series so far, then make sure you do give it a big thumbs up down below. Of course, last time out, we had a bit of a disaster race at Azerbaijan. It all went wrong, basically. But today, we're hoping for a little bit better. So let's go to the secret meeting and see what happens. Hey, there's Freddy. Fred Vasseur waiting for us. Now, what's going to happen here? So, meeting with Scuderia Ferrari. They're pretty serious about you wanting to join, so they want us to come in. A little bit more recognised than Charles Leclerc. Yeah. Pretty much where we want to be. I mean, success rate for their development is better. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential at Ferrari. Let's complete the talks, and I assume that means that we will be able to join them. So let's complete the talks. There you go. They all look pretty happy, don't they?
So, good news and bad news. The good news is the meeting went well. The bad news, your current employers got wind of it, and they aren't thrilled. Get ready to grovel. This might set back your recognition with them a bit.
I mean, I've not seen any evidence of that, but yeah, it's all looking good. Right, let's set some goals for the weekend. I assume the next secret meeting will be us doing the contract. And setting up next season, basically. So complete the weekend with no more than 3 collisions. Complete 5 laps using 2 different... that's not going to happen. Okay, next one. Achieve 4 purple sectors, finish in a better position than your teammate. We'll go for that one. Stress test anything to 32%. Receive fewer than 2 corner cut warnings during the race weekend. That is very ambitious, but we will try it. Complete any 2 sessions without using a flashback. Easy peasy, because we don't have flashbacks turned on. Okay, let's have a little look at the development path. We have got 447 resource points. Let's see if we can do anything. I mean, they're just meaty upgrades now. So actually trying to get these done is going to be tricky. Let's go for the durability upgrade, I guess. And let's continue on and see where we get to.
Okay, mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
So the car's looking good. Ourselves, Ferrari and Red Bull right up there. McLaren a little bit behind, and then Aston Martin a little bit behind that. Aston Martin have sort of plateaued a little bit over the last few Grand Prix, but the top 4, we're pushing on and trying to get there. Currently second in the championship. Let's head to the race weekend and see what we can do here in Singapore. As I say, it's not really a favourite of mine, so we could have quite a tricky weekend here, in my opinion. But we'll give it a go. Although qualifying looking wet adds another element of jeopardy into the mix.
As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
Okay, here we are, down on track then. Pace is looking very impressive indeed this weekend. Little look at our setup then. If you are interested, and yeah, this one does feel really, really good, really positive. Able to, throw the car into a corner. It's feeling awesome. So let's take you on a lap of Singapore, and hopefully you will enjoy it under the lights here. And yeah, hopefully we can go and get ourselves a quick lap, you know, reminiscent of Lewis in, was it 2018, I think, or 2019? I'm not entirely sure. It was an absolute god of a lap from Lewis Hamilton around Singapore, when everybody least expected Mercedes to perform. They all seem to struggle in Singapore. You can see it's starting to rain, so this isn't going to be our absolute ultimate pace, but it should be more than enough to get us through to Q2. 129.3 from Charles Leclerc, hopefully our future teammate. And it is, you know, difficult to get the power down because of the water on the track. We need to make sure we keep it within track limits. And I love this new final sector around Singapore. It's a huge improvement and I think makes this track so much better to drive than it ever was. And now we come up to the final corner and well, that's only P7, but I think it should be just about enough with all of this rain here. And you can see there's Carlos Sainz. He's going to really struggle to get through, so let's return to the garage and see where we end up here. But yeah, I think it was a pretty decent time. It's just the rain came down, obviously, in that middle sector in particular. Really tricky. Final sector tricky as well. Let's zoom it forward. You can see George Russell pops up into 13th. There's some 139s in there. Yeah, I think it is just too wet out there now. Yep, the wet tyres are quicker, so that is going to be your lot for Q1. And some big shocks out in Q1. That's going to be Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez all fall in the first part of qualifying. Logan Sargent joins them as well. And there you go. There you have it. That is it for Q1. And, well, yeah, Lando Norris managed to set a quicker time than Pierre Gasly on the intermediate tyres, so he won't be starting last. But that is a big shock. See, Q2, we're on the extreme wet tyres. Now, let's see what our first lap looks like. It's not going to be fantastic. Well, it's only P9 for now. I think we can improve on that. But it's going to be about building confidence, I think, in this session. Well, here we come then for our second lap in Q2, and well, that gets us up. That gets us up into third position. That should be enough for now. We'll have a little look at the intermediate tyres. They're the only ones that I think could go a little bit quicker. But yeah, we're through at the moment. Still a long way off the pace of the likes of Max Verstappen. Taking a risk on soft tyres. We did this earlier in the season. Now, somebody did go into us on the outlap because we were going so slow. But they said that these tyres would be quicker. We've managed to just about get them up to temperature. We cannot afford to go offline, though. And here we go. We need to make this lap count, otherwise we are going to be out in Q2 here because we're 14th at the moment.
If we don't get into 10th or higher, we're not going to progress to the shootout. Give it your best shot. Come on.
This is going to be unbelievable. We should have really went on the intermediate tyres, but they said these would be 2.5 seconds quicker than the intermediate tyres. It's not a good first sector. We're 1.5 seconds off. It's not coming to us just yet. It's going to be really in this tight, twisty section. Is that where we're going to See the difference? Is it dry enough? But it's like we're driving on eggshells here. This has really not worked out. But as I say, it said on the tyre screen these would be 2.5 seconds quicker than the intermediates. You can see now we're gaining some time, but are we going to be able to gain enough? We're 3 seconds off. We need to make up 4 seconds in this final sector.
2 minutes.
We're going to use the overtake button to see if we can do it.
Come on.
You can see we're gaining time, but it's not going to be enough time, I don't think. Coming around the final couple of corners, it's going to be an improvement, but not by enough. We come round the final corner, it's up to the line we go, and well, 15th place in qualifying. That is a disaster. We made the wrong call. We decided to risk it on the soft tyres, and it didn't work out for us. So we are out of qualifying. We qualify in 15th place. You can see anybody that went onto the intermediate tyres improved. Yeah, we couldn't even out-qualify Charles Leclerc in the end. Yeah, I think we would have been a real contender for pole position, but again, 3 big shocks in Q2. Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen all out. 2 Saubers, a Williams, 2 Haas cars, an RB, an Aston Martin. You know, there's only really one contender for pole position, and that is George Russell. Piastri's up there as well, but it's going to be a very, very interesting race, this one.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit, with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Ricciardo, Albon, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Joe, Ocon, Tsunoda, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Sargent, Sainz, Magnussen, Norris, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, former racing driver herself, Naomi Schiff. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race. Question is, though, can they recover today?
It is true they had a really tough day in the office last time out, but they cannot dwell on that. It's so important to turn the page and start on a blank slate, because the more you dwell on that, the less it's going to push you in the right direction. So take some notes. Obviously, there's things to be learned, but move on.
Okay, here we go then. Down on the track, incredibly out of position, really, you would have to say. I think we definitely want an undercut. We're going to struggle to get through the traffic, so we want to get in as early as possible, really, to make sure that we can get through. I'm thinking even lap 8, something like that, just to give us an opportunity. But let's see what tyres people have gone for. It looks like both Aston Martins have gone for the soft tyres. Wow.
Today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
And Perez and Leclerc, they've gone softs. Verstappen has gone hards. Sainz is on softs as well. Lots and lots of cars out of position. This is going to be very, very difficult to call.
Come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race. Each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, and failing that, within the points.
But we need to get off to a good start here. We need to make sure that we pick up no damage. And, well, I'm thinking maybe 5th is probably our maximum today. I think the 2 Aston Martins and Piastri and Russell are going to be too quick for us. But we'll see. Obviously, high safety car chance and all of that. So let's get ourselves into this Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go here in Singapore. It's a great start off the grid for Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen as Zhou Guanyu makes his way towards turn 1. Charles Leclerc on the outside as well, and that is Carlos Sainz who's trying to go around our outside. So no progress from us in turn 1, unfortunately. A little bit of contact with Zhou Guanyu, but nothing too bad. But it's going to be trying to get past these guys. That's going to be the real challenge today. And we try and go down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. That then turns into the outside line, which will become the inside again. And we do just have superior downforce to the Kicksauber. And we're through for now. We're going to put it into hot lap mode to try and stay with Charles Leclerc. But yeah, this is going to be tricky, but we have got a lot more pace than our qualifying position showed. Look at that. He head round the outside of Charles Leclerc. That's going to turn into the inside line. This is a huge chance for us to go down the inside of our championship rival, potential teammate next year as well. And that was a good move. So now Tsunoda is next. Max Verstappen's the one to keep an eye on because he's on the hard tyres. Therefore, he's going to go longer into this race. So if we can consign him to traffic for this stint, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
But if he finds his way through these guys, then he could be a real contender later on. Oh wow, we had such a bout of understeer there. Well, we're going to go down the inside of Tsunoda. Trust I gave us the room and he did just that. So we're now up into P11. Just outside the points. And you can see Bottas a couple of cars ahead of us. He's the real one that we need to get by the end of this stint, you feel. To give us the best possible chance of getting up into that P5, as I say. That's probably our limit. But it's a good start, up to P11 now. We've got a bit of a run on Max Verstappen here. We're going to use overtake. I think we're going to go for it here. Yeah, we catch Max Verstappen. And we are through. That was brilliant. Down the inside of Max Verstappen, an important move that we needed to make now. Ocon and Bottas, they're the next two. And we really need to make inroads on. But we know that we can lean on these tyres a little bit more because we're coming in early. We're getting that undercut. So we're using them. Well, we've saved them some charge here. So that we can try and have a go at these two. DRS, ERS, both enabled here. I'm going to go down the inside of Ocon. Little bit of contact, but I think we're okay. He's going to try it down the inside himself, but we give him the room and, well, had the better pace around the outside there. Need to stay within a second of Bottas, but he should be fairly straightforward to overtake. Up into P9 now, as Logan Sargent is out this Grand Prix. Is there going to be a safety car? Red flag. Doesn't look like it. Okay. But yeah, we're really losing pace to the top 7 here because Bottas is such a cork in the bottle here. Well, this should be a reasonably straightforward overtake on Valtteri Bottas. He wasn't as welcoming as I thought he might be. But we are through and now use hot lap mode.
You made it look so easy.
Got free air, so this should really be our chance to push on and catch that top 7, and then we can really think about undercuts and how far up we can get with that. Okay, so we're coming into the pits this lap. We have caught up to Hulkenberg. You can see we've pulled out a 4-second gap to Ocon, who is now the car behind. Yeah, this is an opportunity. And we're in. And okay, and we'll lose a little bit of time coming into that pit lane.
Okay, let's go now. Come on.
But we are away, and it's a lovely,
Looks
lovely
like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
pit stop. And what I'm really happy about is that we're going to have about 12 seconds or more of clear
Up to
air.
speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So coming round, need to make sure we don't go out of the white line. And that's all looking pretty good. So time for hammer time. And how much of an undercut can we get here? We've already seen how quick we are in clear air. Now we got to put that into practice. Well, Alonso, Leclerc, Perez, they're all in the pits here. Maybe not. Well, I suppose it's all of the soft tyre runners, isn't it?
Tyre condition still looking good.
Very nicely through on Charles Leclerc. That is a nice gap on him. Actually, we're a lot closer to Fernando Alonso than we would have been, so this is looking good here. We've come out ahead of Lance Stroll now. He was ahead of us before. 4.5 seconds now is the gap between us and Lance Stroll, so this is huge, this undercut. So George Russell has just entered the pits. This is going to be very telling on how much time we've made up here. Can we even get ahead of our teammate George Russell? Flying round the final corner now, we head up.
Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way
And
to go
there
in this
is
race,
George
so
Russell
keep
on the
your head down.
inside, and we fly round turn 1, and we are up into second place. That is huge. From 14th on the grid, we are now in second. Now, trouble is, there's no way that we're going to be able to stay ahead of these guys because we've got fresher
Running low on
tyres.
ERS. Reminder that you can play around with ERS modes in the MFD or lift sometimes and ease onto the brake pedal for some manual recharge.
But the main thing is, we are now in the top 4 battle. But Fernando Alonso, well, he leads by 5 seconds at the head of this Grand Prix. And he's on medium tyres, so he is strolling towards victory, you would imagine.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Now that could make things interesting right at the end of this race. We will have to wait and see whether that has the impact we think it might, but there's 9 laps to go after this one. We're currently in second place. That would be huge damage limitation from 14th on the grid.
The car behind you's just come in for the...
Well, you join me with just less than 3 laps to go. We are starting to close in on Fernando Alonso. His tyres are clearly going a little bit. Our tyres are still very, very good. But George Russell has not only overtaken Piastri, he is not far behind us as well. And we're trying to look after some ERS charge and give ourselves a decent chance going into these last couple of laps of staying in second place. Now remember, our tyres are going to be older than George Russell's, but our pace seems pretty consistent. We've been lapping at a 130.3 most of the time. We're now at a 130.6, so we're keeping it consistent. Keep giving ourselves a great opportunity. 3.5 seconds now, the gap to Fernando Alonso. He is struggling, and that Aston Martin is becoming a little bit bigger in our sights as we notch down the laps, but I don't think we're going to be able to catch and pass him. We might get within a second or so by the final lap. Now, it all depends really what his energy situation is. He might well be saving up now just in case we pass or have a go at him on the final lap. And that's a poor exit, and that is going to cost us dearly because George Russell is right behind us. But we managed to defend for now, but that is going to put us under pressure for the final lap of this race. A little bit of ERS out of the corner. We're now going to go into hot lap mode for what is going to be the final lap of this Grand Prix. So, Fernando Alonso leads. Can he end the 11-year drought without a Formula One victory?
Concentration and let's bring it home.
Spain 2013 was the last time Fernando Alonso stood on the top set. We're hunting him down, but it's going to be incredibly difficult from here. We once again take another second or so out of him. It's 2.8 seconds a gap now. Of course, there is the possibility that he could make a mistake on this final lap, and that could be how we get him. So we keep pushing. We're just ahead of George Russell. Piastri in fourth as well. He's within a second, but we don't want to push it too hard and end up losing these 18 very valuable points in the championship. Now George Russell will have DRS here. That's really his last opportunity. And we've managed to get through that. So now 2.8 seconds separate us and Fernando Alonso. He's just got to negotiate the last couple of corners. He's coming round now, the final corner. It's going to be Fernando Alonso who wins here in Singapore. He's got an excellent record here. We come across in second place. Very good.
Awesome job, guys. Apologies for that mistake earlier on, but we live and we learn. On to the next one.
But yeah, it shows you really where we could have been had we qualified well. But second place, we'll take that and move.
For the Fonz, a winner today, Fernando Alonso.
And it's one thing to win, but to win like that in total dominant style, that was a fantastic drive, and it is not one that we see very often.
Aston Martin's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the biggest names in the sport. They're making their way out to the podium as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Well, congratulations to Fernando. Great to see him back on the top step, but we beat our teammate George Russell. That is huge. A huge result for us. And boy, can we be pleased with that.
It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Wow, we only finished 1.9 seconds behind Fernando Alonso in the end. That is, that's crazy, really. You would have to say, yeah. I mean, how did we manage to get that close in that final stint? George Russell finishes third ahead of Piastri in fourth. Charles Leclerc finishes fifth with Lance Stroll in sixth there. Daniel Ricciardo seventh. Verstappen only eighth. Then Albon ninth and Sainz in 10th. Let's have a little look at the championship. We increase our lead over George Russell to 3 points, but we're still 116 behind Verstappen. Championship is very much over. It's a battle for second, and well, that's in both championships. We are now starting to really pull ahead of Scuderia Ferrari. We're 106 points ahead of them in the Constructors' Championship. We should be able to finish second. We could win the Constructors' World Championship if we work together as a team, try and bring down Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. I mean, Verstappen only scored 4 points this weekend for Red Bull. Perez down in 12th. There was a big opportunity there, and we took it, and we got 33 points in the bag. So let's continue on then. Very, very happy with that. It was awesome racing. Some really good overtakes in there as well. We've had a nice experience boost from going for that race start, and we're very nearly at 100 experience now. Racecraft moves up as well. We're surely going to move up a rating here, are we? No, not quite. Not quite. I don't really know how that didn't happen, but there you go. There you go. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, weekend rating decline. Okay. So I guess we're fighting that, and that's because we're old. We're fighting that weekend rating decline as we're going on. But, yeah, very happy with that. We can be happy. Let's move on to recognition. Yeah, don't quite go ahead of him there. Okay, manufacturing up, power unit up, material up, and quality assurance up as well. Very good. Well, let's see how it all ends off the weekend then. The first of many? First of many what? First accolade, okay. Cool. There you go, some good weekly resources in the bag. We've got a little bit of time now between our next Grand Prix, and we should be able to develop the car nicely. But we are leading the teammate rivalry, which is good. And you can see qualifying, we're 11-7 up on George. Race results 10-8. Podium finishes 9-6 there, and 3 points ahead in the championship. Into the championship rivalry, we are a decent number of points ahead of Charles Leclerc. We are pushing on and trying to win that early. And also in our ratings battle as well.
Rivalry will track your overall rating versus your rivals. You'll need to be ahead by a certain amount to be declared the winner. Here you can see the gap needed to win, as well as the rewards that will be given.
So yeah, we need to get ourselves to 93, ideally, but that's going to be tricky. There's the driver ratings graph, and you can see our experience just took a big jump up. But yeah, very exciting, and looking forward to the next weekend in Austin, Texas for the US Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed that, then give it a massive thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.